So, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Was it any good or was it all fan service? Stick around and find out what I think. Or don't. But if you don't, you suck. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Geeks and Company. My name's JS, and today I want to quickly talk about Ghostbusters Afterlife. Ghostbusters Afterlife has actually been out for a while now, and yes, I am finally just getting around to watching the movie. I mean, right off the bat, I got to say I really enjoyed the movie myself. A lot of people bashed this movie, said it was all fan service. First of all, I think that's the silliest comment you could ever make about the third movie in a series. Of course, it's going to be catering to the fans. I mean, how dumb of a friggin' comment is that? Anyway, I thought the movie was good. I was a little bit wary at first about the fact that this movie was going to center around kids. To me, Ghostbusters was never about kids. It was always about, well, the Ghostbusters. Sure, it was a movie that was appealing to kids, but it wasn't a kid movie. After watching the movie now, I'm realizing it's not a kid movie at all. The main character, yes, is a kid, but let me tell you something. McKenna Grace, the main actress in this movie, is freaking amazing. Finn Wolfhard, it's Finn Wolfhard. He's okay, but he's not the main character of this movie. It really is McKenna Grace. Listen, her Egon. Okay, so to break this down, the basic plot of this movie, if you don't already know, Egon, he's left his family behind many years ago. He bought this farm in the middle of, nowhere. People think he's gone crazy, et cetera, et cetera. Many years later, a week ago, Egon dies at the hands of, I don't know if I should spoil this if you haven't seen the movie or not, but spoiler in 3, 2, 1. So Gozer the Gozerian is back. The whole scene with the chair with Dana in the original Ghostbusters, they basically do with Egon, and Egon dies. Now, you never get to see Egon's face at the beginning of the movie. You always only kind of see a profile of him in the dark. But, I mean, you get the gist that this is Egon. And then you skip to a week later where his daughter, who is now broke, I'm assuming doesn't work, can't pay the rent, she's getting evicted. And the only place that she can take her kids is to Egon's farm, since he's left it to her. For the kids to then start discovering that their grandfather was Egon Spangler, that he was a Ghostbusters, they find the Ecto-1 and fix it, blah, blah, blah. McKenna Grace is Egon's granddaughter. And she has the same mannerism. She's just like him. She's a Egon Jr. And she pulls it off extremely well. I don't think they could have picked a better actress to play the role. McKenna Grace, amazing job. Really good. The rest of the cast was okay. Paul Rudd was actually really good in this. I mean, Paul Rudd basically plays the same character he always plays. He never really strays too far from that character. So, you know what to expect from him in that movie. But again, it works. He does a good job. Like I said, the rest of the cast is okay. The podcast kid is, he's all right. The girlfriend, I forget what her name is. She's okay too. The mom is all right. All right, let's settle that. So they're good. McKenna Grace was amazing. They were okay. For me, the standout was the cameos. Obviously, the original Ghostbusters coming back. Very short scene at the end of the movie, but they do come back. And it was amazing. It really worked well. It ended the story well. I liked how Jason Reitman took a story that his dad started many years ago and really brought it full circle. Again, I don't want to spoil too much, but obviously it starts with Gozer and it ends with Gozer, or does it? Because that's another thing. There are 2 post-credit scenes at the end of this movie, which really leaves the door open to more Ghostbusters. Egon. My God, Harold Ramis. Excuse me. Obviously, Harold passed away before they could make this movie. They still found a way to bring him back in this movie in the form of a CG ghost of Egon. I don't want to say that it made me cry, but it did bring a little bit of a tear to my eye at the end. It was amazing. The CG, like, you could swear he was on set filming the scenes with these guys. It was very well done. Again, very short scene, but still very, very touching. Which brings me to the effects for this movie. Because let's see, obviously the effects have been updated. We're in 2021. Well, they made this movie actually in like 2019 or 2019. I believe they filmed this movie in 2019. Either way, the effects have obviously been updated, but they still work within the series. They're not all that different from, or they're not different enough, I should say, to the effects from the other movies to really break you. Like if you're watching them back to back, it's not going to break the continuity for you seeing these effects. The perfect example I can give you is Ghostbusters 2016. When I watched Ghostbusters 2016 and I saw the ghost effects, I was like, oh, this is weird. Like this does not fit. Like it didn't fit for me. It didn't work. Like the effects were super bright and they were, bright blue and it was in your face. And the effects in this is a combination of practical effects and obviously CG. It just worked. Listen, everything in this movie for me worked. Story was amazing. It was a great finishing off of the story. The acting was all right, but McKenna Grace as the main character, this movie was amazing. Like I said, I was worried this was going to be a kids movie, but it was no more a kids movie than the original Ghostbusters. Of course, there was a lot of fan service, which made this even better for me. References, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the old guys coming back. Who you going to call? So again, for me, it worked. All it did was make this better for me. I tried to write a few things on my list here. I can't think of everything. I've got so much in my head right now. I just finished watching the movie. So I wrote some points here. These are, I think, the main points that I had. Overall, listen, I'm going to rewatch this movie. I've seen Ghostbusters 1 and 2 countless times. So I'm going to rewatch this one for sure. My opinion of this movie may change after I've seen it a second time. It may change after I've seen it 3 or 4 times. It may never change. I'm sure I'm going to catch some extra little tidbits, little extra Easter eggs. Again, I'm not watching this movie at 0.25 speed. Maybe I will one day. But, for now, I just sat down. I watched the movie. I tried to stay away from as much information as I can, which is very hard when it's this late in the game. It's been out for so long now that it's hard really not to get all that information spoiled to you. But I knew some tidbits, but the basics of the movie were not spoiled to me, and I really, really enjoyed it. And if you didn't enjoy this movie, hey, listen, it sucks. I'm sorry. I wish you could have enjoyed it as much as I did, but I for sure enjoyed it much more than I think any other movie that I've seen that has come out in 2021. I'm trying to think of a 2021 movie that I liked better than this movie. No. I cannot think of a movie in 2021 that I saw that I liked as much as this movie. And funny enough, it's 2022. Listen, if you've stuck to all the way to the end here, thank you very much. Let me know below what you thought. Please make sure you take a second to subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out here. I'm a super small channel, trying to grow. Every subscription helps. It helps the traction. It helps propagate the show, the channel. And it helps me, obviously, the more subscription I have, the more the YouTube algorithm will pick me up and so on and so forth. So listen, give me a hand. Click the subscribe button below. It's completely free. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.